and I don't think James is in the room. No, James is joining us online. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, hello, kia ora.
James, thank you for being with us. If you can, there you are up in the corner there. So thank you for joining us. I think you're beaming in from across the Tasman, are you?
Hi,
so,
that's right, yep.
Welcome, thank you for being with the committee this morning. We've got you for a 5-minute slot, so I'll hand over straight to you to begin your presentation.
Thank you. Good morning. Mihi nui ki a koutou te tia mana me te komiti. I am joining you this morning from Wurundjeri country, where there is not yet a treaty and where land was never ceded. I want to join the many others in my deep gratitude for your diligent work of service for us all and your kind attention today. My name is James Maddock. I am of mainly Irish and English descent. I was born in Ototaki, Christchurch. My mother is from the Ma family of Marlborough, my father from the Maddocks, who are connected to the Hebeli whānau of Te Tauihu. I am staunchly opposed to this bill. Now, I'd originally planned to talk directly to the points in my written submission, but after listening to so many of the submitters on both sides of the discussion, I feel like I need to say something about what I really think is at the core of the issue here. I asked myself, is this really a contest of treaty text versus context, or the rights that it confers or doesn't? And I found that I needed to kind of pull back a little bit and look at this bill in a broader context of what's going on at the same time. I thought, who is really benefiting from this bill? So I think it's really about political opportunism. I think this is quite simply a cynical power grab using a misdirection of public sentiment as cover to remove treaty safeguards and clear the path for a kind of self-serving, short-sighted profit. Imposing a rigid definition of principles follows an obvious colonial playbook, turning communal resources into individual assets that are ready for privatization, sale and purchase. The Treaty Principles Bill is just one part of what I see as a clear plan to strip protections, deregulate, sell New Zealand to the highest bidder. So I want to look at this bill alongside everything else that's going on right now and draw attention to, for example, the Fast Track Approvals Bill, which wants to greenlight destructive resource extraction, the Regulatory Standards Bill, gutting protections that limit corporate access, the Employment Relations Act changes, weakening workers' rights to favour largest employers at workers' expense, the Māori Health Authority reveal, RMA changes, repeals and replacements, opening land and water to unrestricted exploitation. We've got the education funding reforms that lay the groundwork for privatizing schools, the Three Waters repeal, which will probably force councils towards water privatization, housing market artificial constrictions, public health destabilization, gutting healthcare services to justify future sell-offs. I feel like I'm watching a Rogernomics reboot. Unsurprising really, if you remember who founded the ACT Party. It's like an in-your-face play to aggressively concentrate wealth and power, leaving everyday New Zealanders worse off while corporations and millionaires clean up. I think this bill intentionally removes the need to negotiate with Māori stakeholders on their legitimate interests, their assets, taonga, kaitiakitanga, shutting them out while opening the farm gates for corporate exploitation. This isn't about fairness or equality or what the treaty says. It's about profit. So I really think this parliament and this government are at another crossroads. The treaty isn't simple. Identity isn't simple. But this coalition government is betting that if they make it look simple, people will swallow it. Leadership, for me, means seeing past the white noise of division and articulating the problems and the solutions in ways that make the best path forward obvious to us all, and not just allowing corporate interests to buy up our country and our future. This isn't about the next election cycle or financial year. This is about how do we want it to feel when we say, I am a Kiwi. What do we want that to mean? I urge the committee to frame the treaty as a continuing national conversation and not to endorse the libertarian spin for a cheap short-term corporatist win. In my view, this bill is a fraud. It is not what it pretends to be. It is constitutionally reckless, and it intentionally incites polarization. So rather than defining treaty principles in isolation, this government and parliament must guide a genuine conversation that brings us all along together with clear understanding as we continue to carefully form our national identity. Nā tōroro, nā takuroro, kaorai tiwi. Kia ora tātou. If there's time for a question, I love that.
Thanks, James. Unfortunately, that is exactly 5 minutes up on the clock. So just want to acknowledge your submission and thank you for being before the committee this morning.
Kia ora tātou.
Got it, James.
Folks, we're going to go to submission now from